Now I'd like to recognize the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Posey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, General, for your service to our armed forces and NASA.
Thank you.
I'd like to focus just for a moment on Exploration Mission 1, referred to in all our paperwork as EM1, the first time that you'll fly SLS and Orion together, hopefully in 2018. The Government Accountability Office, let me just get its quote, and the NASA Inspector General have both cautioned us that Exploration Mission 1 could be delayed because of potential risks for the Exploration Ground Systems program. The administration is requesting $403 million in discretionary spending in fiscal year 2017, a reduction of $6.8 million from fiscal year 16. How will this request impact the Exploration 1 schedule? I mean, understand, we can fully fund Orion.
Yes, sir.
We can fully fund SLS. We can fully fund all the airplane research. We can fully plan all the weather stuff. But if we don't have the ground systems in place, nothing's going to get off the ground, General.
Mr. Posey, you're preaching to the choir, and this is what I've said to this and other committees for many years. It is great to be focused on the vehicles, but unless you have a launch complex like the Kennedy Space Center, the world's most incredible multi-user launch complex, unless you have that, you're going nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, when people talk about a critical part of SLS is the ground system. SLS with no ground system is worthless. So because we're given a limited budget, we try to take the funds that are in the big category of exploration and use them so that the ground system, the rocket, and the module get to launch day together. And that requires doing what Bob Cabana is doing in an incredibly fine manner down at the Kennedy Space Center. The other thing that has helped is having commercial entities that now provide access to low Earth orbit so that we don't have to worry about that. If you go down to Kennedy now and you look at Launch Complex 39A from where Neil Armstrong launched, that's now American industry. That's SpaceX. And I haven't seen it recently, but everybody tells me it is mind-boggling what they're doing to 39A. That's American ingenuity, and that's what's going to take us to Mars. So I could not agree with you more. We've got to focus on the infrastructure, and that's exploration ground system. So when I say I want to take $1 million or whatever it is that people think is designated for the rocket because I want to upgrade the security on the exploration ground system, we're not doing that because we're being frivolous. We see that EGS is not going to be ready in time to meet the rocket's date unless we do it that way. So,
well, thank you. Those are magic words to my ears, General. And so I assume then that I can be assured that we're not going to end up with an SLS and Orion and lack a ground systems that's ready to launch.
I can assure you, sir, that with the President's budget request at that level, the Exploration Ground System, SLS, and Orion will be ready to launch in 2018 together.
Thank you for that assurance.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. The Orion program received $1.27 billion in fiscal year 16. The discretionary request from NASA for fiscal year 17 is $1.05 billion. Will this request delay EM2, Exploration Mission 2, where we're going to actually put men in here? If NASA received $1.27 in fiscal year 17 for Orion, would EM2 be delayed?
At the President's budget request, EM2 is scheduled to go in 2023, and that's our commitment to the President, to the Congress, to the nation. As I commented to Congresswoman Edwards, if you gave me the levels that you continue to give, then we're going to make sure we will make 2023. We could make earlier, but I want to get away from people focusing on on an earlier date, because that does bring concerns about safety into the mix. And that's what the ASAP was talking about. You know, 2023 is a great date. If that's what we think we can meet with a 70% confidence level, increased funding even makes it even more certain we're going to make that date. But the team will continue. The team always works to be ready earlier than projected. So we probably could launch earlier than 2023 with increased funding. But we have committed to 2023, and we'll make that at the President's budget request.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I see I'm out of time.